Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square here with T-Square Talk. Well, hopefully the second time is a charm because I actually started filming this video already once and then messed it up. But I do have a great video. Now I've already had plenty of time to talk about the subject and kind of iron it out even a little better because I'm shooting this video a second time. I got a great video planned out for you guys. I really think it's a great video. I've briefly talked about this years ago. Whenever I hear people make this mistake, I'm always kind of in shock a little bit and kind of in awe that somebody would want to kind of sell their silver for, maybe 95% of spot price only to go back and rebuy it for maybe 10-15% over spot price. It's almost like getting double slapped. And I see it happen more and more often. There's this belief out there that, you pick up a great deal maybe on sterling silver, whether that be jewelry or silverware or whatever the case may be. What is popping open right now? Not even sure what that was. But I hear it time and time again. People want to trade off or sell. I got one friend, he wants to sell off his broken jewelry, gold, silver, different stuff, and then reinvest that money in precious metals, like coins, that type of stuff. He says, well, the jewelry doesn't really matter to me, but getting some extra silver coins or silver or gold coins under my belt, clearly those have done really well for me, so I want to get more of them. And it's a mistake I hear a lot of people make. We're going to talk about that today. I actually did a video not too long ago, and I'm going to show that little short video right here. I labeled it True Treasures. I can't have the volume on. I actually would have gotten hit because it has music playing on this video. But it's really interesting to see some of the cool sterling silver items that you could end up picking up. And so we're going to talk about that and why this stuff is just as good as bars, rounds, silver coins, whatever the case may be. In fact, I might even go so far as to say this is better if you have the space to hold it. Why? Because it is silver, it has value, it's functional, it's usable. Jewelry, even in and of itself, can always be used. It can be a gift. It can be, some people, if you gave someone one of these bars of silver, they might laugh at you a little bit, but if you give them a beautiful ring, you're in. You're in. It's the perfect gift. Even stuff like this, little teapots, that type of stuff, silverware, it's stuff that you can use. It's stuff, in most cases, you can have in plain sight. Who's going to go in someone's house and steal their silverware? Especially today's times where silverware doesn't really mean anything to most people. They look at it now, everybody's got silverware in their house, but do they really have silverware? They have maybe flatware. They have plasticware in some cases. I'll be honest, I'm guilty of that. I have whenever I go out to eat and they put in plastic silverware, I always throw it in my utensil drawer. And on days that I don't feel like doing laundry, I'll use one of those, or dishes, I'll use one of those. Paper plates, plastic silverware, and move on and save a little time for that day and relax. So we're going to talk about that. Is there a big difference in these two? Is there a big difference in having broken jewelry? We'll probably talk about a few other things as the video goes on, because let's be honest, I tend to ramble on about a lot of different topics throughout the video. I'll tell you guys a story about what this guy's getting rid of, and I'll show you the short clip here in just a second. If you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, help me out, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel out. Still trying to hit that 15K. I'm struggling. I'm like, wow, what the heck? I can't believe it hasn't broke yet. Hopefully we're going to see it happen by the end of this weekend coming up, but we'll see. It's been a little slow lately. So thank you all for watching, and with that being said, let's jump right in. So this right here is a short video I did a little while ago. I'm kind of going to play it. I'm going to talk. It's only a minute. He has a nice coin collection, this guy. As you can see, he's got all of his actual 999 coins. As he filters over, he has this stuff. And he views this stuff as kind of junk. A couple candlestick holders, little spice holders, salt and pepper shakers, some jewelry, a fork, different stuff that is sterling. And here's the thing: this stuff is this stuff is 925 sterling silver. Now, yes, an ounce of 925 is not going to be worth quite as much as 999. However, with that being said, this stuff has practical uses. I mean, you could still use the thimble if you needed it. You could still use the salt and pepper shaker. This stuff was silver, and it's always held value. I mean, you look at like these finds that they find, usually these archaeological finds, like a Viking troves of what they had. Most of the time what you find is actual silver items. It had value. It still has value. I mean, any of this stuff, there's a reason why they're willing to buy this off of him and try to get it at 90-95% a spot. And when I say that, that's 90 to 95% of 925. So remember, this stuff, if he has we'll just say for a quick minute, for easy math, let's just say he weighed all this sterling silver and it weighed up to 100 ounces. I mean, he's only going to get 92, the price, first of all, for 92.5 ounces, because that's the silver. That's assuming that he gets spot price for it. Most of the time, the people that buy this stuff, they end up going back 5 or 10% behind spot. There's a lot of issues for some people to buy this stuff because it's not as highly recognized. It gets fake more often. It's a little harder to look at some fake coins and not know. Now, I mean, people are getting better and better at spotting fakes. I talked to someone today. He said, I got a ping tester. I love it. It tells me right off that. I know what I'm looking at. In general, you can tell if stuff feels off. He had a nice collection of the guy's been doing this for years, and he had a really nice collection of fake stuff. I mean, he throws it in a desk drawer, but I mean, it's fake, and he recognizes it as fake, and it's pretty cool to see that. I'm hoping to be able to get a few of his fake pieces just so we can kind of show them on the air, because I don't see that many fake stuff. I see it once in a while, me personally. But here's the thing. I know what I'm buying usually before I even buy it. I know the people that I work with. And usually when people get burned with a piece of fake silver, I tell them, try to go back after the person that you got it from. If you know where you got it, you still got your receipt even or something like that, I said I would try to go back after that person. And I would press them and show them, explain to them, and do your best to try to get your money back if that's the case. But this stuff has value. The idea that this stuff is not as good as 999 coins, to me, is the wrong way of looking at it. You can see a nice turquoise little ring. That's kind of pretty. It caught my eye in there. I think it's turquoise. I could be wrong. If not, that one probably is. But a lot of cool stuff. And yeah, there's some coins in there that are 90% constitutional. There's even a couple coins in there that ain't silver at all. And, a lot of people have this type of stuff floating around if they're older or they've been around for a while. And they don't really know why they keep it. But everybody recognizes this stuff, what we're looking at now, the actual 1 ounce 999 or certified coins. I'm actually about ready to pull up this awesome San Francisco one. We've actually gave some of these away on the channel. I actually got one sitting here for Chris B right now, who's a member of the channel. So, these are really popular. A lot of people do like these, but, you get a high premium on this stuff. I mean, it's certified. People pay more for it. But here's the thing. You have an opportunity to pick up some of that sterling silver, the stuff that people don't really recognize as value, for relatively cheap. Now, I got to say, jewelry usually has a high markup. If you're going to go to a jewelry store like JCPenney's or Dillard's or whoever your big jewelry stores are, there's usually, Tiffany especially, there's usually a high premium on that type of stuff. But it's jewelry. People like it. You're not necessarily going to recoup the money that you spend on a nice, solid silver necklace. I actually know one lady who her fiance, I guess, got in trouble and had a beautiful, beautiful silver necklace. This necklace was all decked out. Excuse me. Extremely nice. I mean, it had all the fancy. It was like a bling necklace, silver, show off. It was maybe like 3 ounces of silver. And, she said they paid like $700 for it. And I was like, damn. And wanted to know if I was interested in buying it. And I said, I'd be ashamed to even tell you what I could offer you on it. I said that the markup on jewelry from these jewelry stores is insane. I actually had a friend that she worked at a jewelry store, and whenever they would discontinue stuff and they had to blow it out, she knew the rock bottom price that she had to get for it. And essentially, it wasn't a whole lot over melt price. Literally, it was almost shameful. But she said, once we get rid of a product, we've already made our product off the first, we'll say couple hundred of them that we sold. At this point, we don't have any use for it anymore. We're going to end up just scrapping it out. And I'm like, wow. And she would always give me a call if something good came in. Years ago, I liked to have extra jewelry on hand. Years ago, I was with somebody, and I never wanted to miss anything. So I would actually buy, whenever she had something extra, like a nice piece, I would actually buy it and put it up. And then I could never forget anything. Because I always had something, oh, hey, or just a gift or something. Women just absolutely love jewelry. Those of you guys that are stacking precious metals, and maybe your wife or your fiance or your spouse, whatever, laugh at you. Or in some cases, maybe your husband. I'm sure there are some female stackers out there that maybe their husbands just don't get it. Jewelry is a way to preserve wealth and maybe not look like a nut job in the process. You look at countries like India, huge amounts of gold and silver get passed on for wedding gifts, generation to generation. A family's entire wealth could be in the form of precious metals, in the form of jewelry. Excuse me. And same with countries like China. And even here in the U.S., there's a lot of girls out there or people out there, I shouldn't say girls. There's a lot of people out there that have a lot of jewelry. I mean, how many of y'all remember Mr. T from the A-Team? He had tons of jewelry he was always wearing. I mean, can you imagine what that gold jewelry was worth when you really think about it, if it was all real? I know a lot of rappers have been caught more recently with fake jewelry. They'd get asked how much was it, and they'd throw out a number like, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000, and then something comes to light that it was fake. And, because jewelry does have value. And it has value whether it's in the form of a nice, pretty chain, or it has value in the way that even if it's broken, it has value. That's why you see these, we buy broke jewelry, we buy gold, we buy silver. That's why you see it popping up everywhere, because people recognize that it is value. And if you have this belief that the only thing that has value is these nice, right here you got a maple leaf showing, these nice certified maybe maple leafs or whatever the case may be, it's a good coin, it's $9.99, that doesn't really matter as much. Now, I understand if you're hurting for space, it's hard to keep a chest full of silverware just kicking around. Do I have some silverware? Yes. One of my good friends, probably about a year ago, went to a yard sale, and there was a Quaker Oats, I don't want to call it a jar, but it was a cylinder, cardboard, Quaker Oats container. She opened it up, and it was heavy. Opened it up, looked inside, and there was some newspaper. She moved some of the newspaper around, and it was a bunch of silverware. And she asked the person that had the yard sale, how much are you taking for the utensils? Now, the key word here is utensils. Don't say silverware. You know what I mean? They have it in a yard sale. It's their responsibility. I hate to say this, to know what they have, what you're selling. You're the one selling it. It's your responsibility. And it's our responsibility as stackers to go out and look for deals that are, in my opinion, just exceptional. This lady told her, she goes, "Oh, what is it? It's just miscellaneous pieces. There's not a set there or anything. How's $5 sound?" And she said, "I'll take it." Took it home, talked to a friend of hers, then talked to me and asked me, she goes, "I know you will know how to sell it." And I said, "Why do you want to sell it?" She told me what she paid, $5. And I said, "It's real silver. I mean, that's silver in and of itself." She goes, "How much silver do you think's there?" I said, "Probably 11 ounces worth of silver." And everybody you talk to is going to only give you the money to buy maybe 10 ounces, maybe even less by the time you take a hit and then you pay a commission or a premium on the stuff you're going to buy. And so she said she wanted to do it. She really wanted coins because her collection that she had been stacking, she's a good friend of mine. She started stacking when we met fairly early. And she tells me, she goes, "I remember when I started stacking, you got me into it at $17 in some cases. And now look at it." And I tell her, that's real wealth. So she was determined to trade it out for 10 ounces of silver. And I actually made her a deal. I traded her some kayaks that I had, and I said, I can get you the 10 ounces of silver. And if you want the 10 and you're fixated on it, I'll give you the 10 and I'll take the silverware and just throw it in a pile somewhere. And so she said yes, but then I threw out a side deal. I said, "Hey, those kayaks that I have no use for them. I'm not a big kayak fan. They just take up space. I got them as part of a deal and didn't really want them anymore." And I said, "I'll tell you what, how would you feel if I said 6 ounces of silver and those 3 kayaks?" So you're basically giving up 4 ounces of silver for 3 kayaks. And at the time, silver was only like, I don't know, $23, $24. So it was up there a little bit, but, not where it's at now. And so she took it. And I still got those forks and spoons and knives to this day. She now has the certified silver ounces, and that's cool. It's definitely a nice addition, the ounces that she got. But people fail to see that this broken or old beat-up jewelry is real wealth. It is silver. It is gold. And once you understand that, you understand that. When I tell you guys, my objective is to, I don't want to sound greedy by any means. I actually had someone leave me a comment today that maybe the channel would grow more if I showed you guys my silver collection more. I've tried that. I used to show a lot of my collection on a regular basis, and people thought I was, I don't know, flaunting it or showing off or whatever the case may be. And so I kind of stopped that. I thought it looked cool to see it. If you guys show me your collection, I'm super happy. I had someone send me a email one day, and it started out, the guy was trying to sell the collection and reached out to me. He was not a silver stacker. His dad was. And the dad passed away. And he wrote to me. He looked online what the big deal was with these coins and stuff. And he wrote to me and said, his dad was a little out there, a little bit of a nut job, buying up silver and gold, thinking it was going to be worth the world someday. And this was back when it was only $20. And I told him, I said, first of all, I said, I wouldn't sell it. That's my honest answer. I would not sell it. I said, your dad knew what was going on well before anybody else did. He started stacking well before $20, way, way back. He acquired a huge stack. You came into a windfall that he would have wanted you to keep. He would have wanted you to save. And he still watches the channel, I believe, this individual. I think he does. Needless to say, he one day sent me a picture of it. And he said, "Hey, I want you to know that I have this stack because of you. And when I wanted to sell it, it was $20, and now it's $30 an ounce. It has gone up by 50% in the time I've had it. And I wouldn't have it if it wasn't for someone like you. I would have already gotten rid of it and probably even spent the money." And so when I hear stuff like that, it kind of brings a tear to my eye a little bit, because, this is someone that didn't understand. And I can tell you right now, I would hope anybody stacking, when they pass away, they would want their kids to inherit their collection, and they would want it to not be sold off all at once. They would want it to be a steady revenue if they were going to sell it, a little bit each month, and kind of just go with it like that. And every time you get that little check, you know that someone did that for you. Someone put that wealth away for you. And here's the thing. When you get to the very last piece, probably really even when you get through just a quarter of the stack, you're going to realize that, wait a minute, I needed $1,000 a month to help offset my bills and stuff. When I started selling this, what the heck? I was having to give up 40 ounces. Now, 35, 30, and it just keeps coming down. 25, and you start to see it. You will not make it through the whole stack before you realize it's taking less and less silver to equal that same amount of fiat cash to make it through the month. Now, I know someone out there is going to be like, well, that's not true because prices would be going up and this and that. And that's true. But to a certain point, the average person out there has a set budget that they spend every month. And they would probably just try to offset it, $1,000 a month, I'm estimating. And that would offset their bills, essentially. And once you see that what's really happening, you want it. You want more of it. That silverware that I took in, if those of you that don't know what it looks something like this. I'm going to click on this just so you can see it. This silverware, when I got it, it had a 10-ounce silver value. Today, it still has a 10-ounce silver value. It's still worth the same amount of silver because it's silver. It's only when you trade it into fiat paper that you basically stop the growth and start the decline. And what do I mean by that? Stopping the growth and starting the decline? Because when you hold paper, it almost always goes down in value. In fact, a $100 bill will never be worth more than it is today. It will be worth less tomorrow, less the next day, less the next day, less the next year, less the next 5 years, less all the way down the line. But with silver, it's not the same thing. Silver's a commodity. And when you're trading it in or selling it, and you're taking something that's going down in value, then it's naturally going up in value. Now, let's be honest. This silver spoon right here might buy you 2 gallons of gas. You know what? 10 years ago, it might have bought you 2 gallons of gas. 20 years from now, it might still buy you 2 gallons of gas. Nothing changes when you're trading commodities for commodities. It's when you trade commodities for paper. Paper that essentially grows on trees. I know some people always say, you think money grows on trees? I mean, I know fiat dollars are not paper. They're technically fibers, cottons, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. Plastic, depending on the country you live in. I think in Canada, I think they're almost plastic now. I've heard people say, don't put them in your dryer or whatever you do. You won't lose it in the washing machine, but you will definitely lose it in a dryer. When you realize what's happening, you want more and more and more silver. You don't want dollars. You wouldn't even think about cashing in your silver just to have dollars to put it in the bank. Yes, I understand. If you need to put food on the table, you may have to sell that silverware or those rounds or silver bars or whatever to convert that money into paper so you can go and buy the food. And if you do it all quick, in like one day, well, yeah, maybe you didn't lose anything. You basically got rid of the silver, you took the dollars and bought the food, boom, it happened fast. But for the people out there that are, oh, silver's at $40, I'm going to sell my collection and put the money in the bank and invest it. Well, hey, now if you're selling your silver to invest in cryptos, oh my word, I am so sorry. I think a day will come when people will regret that. But water under the bridge. I can't keep talking about that forever. Excuse me. You got to see what's really happening. You really have to. And there's a lot of people that won't. A lot of people don't see it. A lot of people might even see an ounce of pure 99 silver and think that it's better than some silverware. Truth of the matter is, they're both silver. They're both commodities. That silverware is going up in price. I mean, there was a time when you could buy a junk silver dime for $1.50, $2, then $2.50. Now I think it's like $2.70 even. There's value in this. And once you understand it, you understand what's really happening, what's going on, and you position yourself for it. So I hope everybody is taking the time to stack whatever they can. I hope you're not giving up some silver to get less silver. If you're giving up some silver to get some extra silver, well then, yeah, I mean, that's awesome. What do I mean by that? Maybe someone out there is telling someone, hey, I'll tell you what, I got this beautiful silver maple leaf. You can give me 2 or 3 of those silver forks or silver spoons for it, and you weigh up that silver, and it comes out to, I don't know, 4 ounces times 0.925. You're sitting on a lot more silver than you had before, if you're sure it's real silver. Some people, though, they don't see that. I had one guy, this was kind of crazy. I can't remember what it was. I had offered him basically something to trade him. And I said, I'll tell you what. You just give me 10 silver dimes? And the guy said, I don't really want to get rid of the mercury dimes. I really like them. People like them. I can sell them easy. How about I give you 6 of these silver quarters? They're just Washington quarters, but, you know. And I said, I'll do that. Think about what he did in that transaction. Instead of giving up 10 silver mercury dimes, he gave up 6 silver quarters. He gave up 50% more silver because he had a preference. A preference that one silver was worth more than another silver. And maybe it's true. Clearly, most people would take 10 mercury dimes over 4 Washington quarters that are silver. But if you're going to give up 50% more of the other silver, at the end of the day, I hate to say it, when silver skyrockets in price, and it will, you will see $100 silver in your lifetime. Now, I don't care who you are, you're watching this video, I believe, my personal opinion, you will see $100 silver. Because I believe you're going to live at least 2 or 3 more years, no matter who you are watching this video. 2 or 3 years, not super far out. Maybe if you tell me you're 95 years old and you're watching my videos, you definitely are outside the YouTube, numbers that they give me, that they tell me the majority of the people that watch my channel are between the ages of 45 and 55. Followed by a large percentage between 35 and 45, and so on and so on. In 3 years, I would not be surprised to see $100 silver. I wouldn't be surprised to see $50 silver by the end of this year. Question is, how much silver are you going to have when it breaks out? Are you going to want to buy silver when it's $100? No, most people won't. They'll have wished they had bought more. Now, maybe you'll get lucky and you'll have some nice pieces. Maybe a nice ounce of silver that you bought for $40 and now silver's worth $100, but people are willing to give you $150 for that ounce. That's a possibility. The last time silver skyrocketed to $50 an ounce, people were paying $80 for silver eagles. $80. They were paying a 60% premium to have the #1 coin in the world, a silver eagle. But at the end of the day, silver is silver. A lot of silver during the Great Melt got melted down. A lot of good Carson City Morgan dollars. They couldn't see a dollar coin being worth what it was worth. So they melted a lot of that stuff down. Can you imagine how much good stuff got melted down? I seen one channel, he deals melting silver. And essentially part of a refinery person, I guess, somehow affiliated with a refinery. And he's always showing his stuff. He had a set of Tiffany silverware come in one day. Melt price. And he said he wanted to sell it to someone in the audience. He said, I'm fine getting, a couple $100, $200 over spot. Why? Because he didn't want to see something that beautiful, that limited, go essentially into the melting pot. What happens when they melt it down? You take beautiful antique silver and you melt it down, and you got something that looks like this. Nice silver bars, ready for sale, and we buy them up. But at the end of the day, doesn't matter. Silver is silver. Gold is gold. And once you understand that, you are in the driver's seat. You really are. It doesn't matter if you've got jewelry, forks, spoons, coins, rounds, bars, whatever. I hear it all the time. I like rounds better than bars. I like this better than that. I like silver. The more silver I can get, the better off I'm going to be. Why? Because when that day comes, and it will come, I'll have a bunch of silver to get rid of. Now, I thank everybody for watching. This is not financial advice, nor should it be considered as such. If you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button. Oh, we didn't even look at the silver price. My bad. Before I go, real quick, taking a quick look at the silver price right now, $38.77. I had a buddy of mine tell me today, it's down like 50 cents. It's coming down. Why is everything coming down? I said, what's 50 cents, bro? I said, are you selling? He said, I don't want to. I said, and you're not going to. 50 cents is nothing. We will recover that in a blink of an eye. Taking a quick look at gold. We got gold trading at $3,391. Continuing to slowly creep up. A lot of people are going to miss it. We got Bitcoin right now trading at $112,883. And the DXY sitting here hovering just over 98, 98.16, as that's continuing to go higher. So once again, please, if you enjoyed today's video, take a quick minute, click on some of these other great videos that I have showing, and leave me a comment. Let me know. If you didn't hit that thumbs up button yet, hit that thumbs up and leave me a comment. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. I can't thank you enough, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.